manifested presence, or the great I am, or the Elohim, or the El, all these names. Then take a deep breath in and let it out with a sigh. Feel the earth beneath you and however you're settling. For me, my feet are up, my knees are put together to just form that place where I can feel that sacrum and the triangles that my legs make. Then bring your hands together at the heart, fingertips together, thumbs to the heart, going to this mudra practice. Namaste to yourself, taking, the time out to do this practice, honoring that, honoring all the work you do in the world, even if it's just to stay as healthy as you can and honor your own self. And then inside yourself, make peace. So peace, the peace starts inside ourself, and having our voice also, find your voice. And that's the way you can make a difference. And your voice can be loud or quiet. It can be silent. It can be art. It can be dance. It can be writing. It doesn't have to be out there. Your voice can be internal, speaking with the oneness. Then bring your thumbs to your third eye. And again, honor that we are raising our vibration to the fifth dimensional understanding. And in this rising and raising of our vibration, sometimes the physical body takes a hit or doesn't know what to do with the vibration, or feels like it's, a little bit, between that way of feeling the energy move and then feeling it as anxiety or vibrational zinging, or just a little shimmer. Some of it's working through this vibrational shift. As we bring the arms over our head, take a deep breath in. Again, let it go with a sigh. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Never can have enough. Then take wherever you are with this, and if you're on the floor with me or on the recliner, see if you can, lengthen out your legs and arms into five-pointed star and send that gratitude out. Now you're sending it out not on a flat surface, you're sending it out as a sphere of energy that really and truly is mathematics, that really and truly is this flower of life. And if you haven't looked at it yet, keep going back to the possibility of looking it up, studying it a little bit about how it holds all mathematics, all of geometry, all mathematics, all the geometric solids and the sacred geometry, all that we are is in this flower of life. And just imagine sphere upon sphere upon sphere, all connected on this planet with all the flowers of life around every being. Oh, and I had to do a big sigh after that as I took in every being on the planet, seeing the flower of life, and then see the whole planet as that, and see it shining out its light as it itself is Gaia, an alive being holding all these other things we call beings, and all is one. It's all one big thing. Then bring the feet flat on the floor and the hands gently by their sides and drop the knees side to side. When in doubt, get grounded into the earth and then start to move the body, to start to move the spine in the 6 movements of the spine, however it might show itself to you. And you can do this lying down, seated, standing. You can pretty much do all the movements of the spine. You have to be a little creative in some areas. And then bring your knees to one side and turn the head to the other, gentle, moderate, or vigorous. You know what you're doing. The head goes to one side, the knees go to the other, hip, knees, and feet all on top of each other. Bottom leg comes over. You can cross your leg. It makes a weight. You can use blocks. You can use a block behind your lower back, and it will kind of push the spine into a slightly stronger twist. always knowing that those blocks are available. And then change size with that twist. We'll do spinal twists in a couple of different ways today. Finding your breath, feeling the earth beneath you. Notice your shape. Notice the spaces between and how you make a shape and then what the spaces are between. And then also notice if you're, notice the little things, sounds and smells and the feeling of air on your skin, how your body comes to this moment. What parts of your body, mind, spirit are actually activated? And do you have any tension to release? And if you do, just ask the earth to hold it and see if you can drain the tension into the earth. It's got enough space and energy and solidness there to help hold that anxiety, anxiousness. What are other words? Fear comes in there. Um, just overwhelm also comes in there. Anything that's a trigger comes forward, and then come back to center. Pull the knees into your chest. Now this is roll the ankles and point and flex the feet. This is the first of the spinal movements of the fold. And we can do it on our back. And here's one way where you lift your head and you bring the head up to the knees as far as they can go. And if you can, you bring the hands down to the feet, or you can use a strap. And you're breathing and making yourself small. Partly this is to release tension, tensing the body to then release the tension. And you're feeling it. You can do one leg at a time if it doesn't work to do two. The release for this is the 5-pointed star. So feel the release, just wow. And as though you could send all this, everything you don't need, send it into the earth, out the fingertips, out of the toes, out of the top of the head. Notice the places where your body touches the floor. Send all the unneeded anxiety, anxiousness, all that, whatever it is, vibration that you don't need. Just send it and have it ground into the earth. Then feet flat on the floor and hands behind your head. You're deciding what kind of abdominal work do you need right now. And exhale as you come up. And inhale, blow it out or breathe it out your nose. Your hands can be behind your head. Your feet can be off the floor. The legs can be extended. And you can just lower, press the lower back into the floor also to get this stimulation of some of the complexity of the abdominal area. And you can squeeze at the pelvic floor and you can see how that works for you. And you're at your own pace. So even if you just did like 3 of these and you did them super slowly and held them at the top of that strengthening, that's, anything works. It's really up to you to create your own practice. And hold for a moment if you haven't already. Don't hold the breath. And then pull it in the knees. And you probably know where we're going. Tap one knee, do the opposite, 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 opposite. Elbows, if you can get the knee up there, elbow to elbow, cross crawl on the floor. Then you can lift the feet up and elbow to elbow and see if you want to lengthen out the leg. Some people can lengthen out and lower down. Just make sure you go opposite, opposite. Don't forget the breath. It'll help you go. At your own pace again. And if you have to, maybe you want to lift one leg way up and just go side to side. So many options. And then hold. And hold the other side. Take a breath. And then bring the knees in. Take a deep breath in and out. Mm. Ah. And then a gentle, we're going to do one other thing before we come up and roll over. Let's make sure I'm got the time going on here. Cross the right ankle over the left knee, and decide if you just want to use your hand and press that knee away. That would be the most gentle. Then, if it works for you, a strap or your hands between the legs, and you're in the thread the needle, or they also call this the fold of four, so because it looks like the number four. Lengthening the arms out, the shoulders pull forward a little bit, and you're just hanging out there for a moment, working with this hip, the right hip. Now, again, you can make it less by just putting the foot down, but you're still going to do a little bit of a stretch for the hip, and you might feel it down into the buttocks, which is your piriformis. So the piriformis, you can take your fingers of your right hand. This is my right ankle over my left knee, and you can feel the sore spot in there where the piriformis muscle goes around the sciatic nerve. And that sciatic nerve is like the largest nerve in the body that goes and feeds the lower body, and then splits into two, down to go into the left side and the right side. So we're supposed to feel it, but we don't want that pain of the sciatic getting stimulated by the tightness of those muscles around that nerve. So so this is the release, one of the releases. You can do this seated on a chair with one ankle over the other one, over the knee, the opposite knee. Then place that left foot on the floor. Decide if you want to do this, which is to catch the right knee and the left hand on the right foot. Lengthen out that left leg. Lift the head. You're still going to be stretching that piriformis and working with that hip a little bit, but you're also going to add a little bit of quad strengthening and core strengthening. Squeeze at the pelvic floor, and leg comes up and down. You could point and flex if you want. Whew. Breathing, relaxing at the same time as we're doing something that's a little strenuous for the body. And this comes from the combination of yoga and Pilates. And then hold for a moment. If your neck needs some support, a pillow behind your head or one hand behind your head, always good. And you're also strengthening your arms here. So notice it's a full body strengthener. And then let go on that side. Lengthen out that leg. Feel the difference of the right leg and the left leg before we go to balance it out. Reach the arms above the head and stretch, wiggling the pelvis a little bit as you do, as you hold your breath. Hold, 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 hold. And then relax. Let's see if I can keep this. And then come back, feet flat on the floor. Take the left leg, left ankle over the right. And just, again, you can just take your left hand and push that away. Or you can push it away without even using your hand. And then you can always put your foot on a block. That would lift you up just a little bit. Or you can get a strap or hands behind that right knee. And again, what's the difference in your left and right side? What are you feeling here? And how can you evaluate it? Letting the shoulders pull forward here if you're using the thread, the needle, if you're using the arms and lacing the fingers. If you're not there, then use that strap and find your way to do that, or find another way. You can also put the foot up onto a chair or up onto a couch, the edge of a couch. So much you can do at home. And then a couple breaths here and just finding it and feeling it, noticing the difference. And then deciding whether you want to stay here or you want to lift the head, if you want to catch the foot. You can always catch the foot and not lengthen out the leg, but just pull in. So there's so many options here as you learn the body. And then lift the leg up and point and flex. Maybe you have a hand behind the head, maybe not. And you're strengthening the leg, you're strengthening the core and the quad, and a lot of those hip flexors up at the top. If you work with this, you can also do the same thing with your knee bent. You're just going to decide, how do I adapt my body to all of these things that I'm bringing forward? And then hold for a moment. Don't, I mean, it's not a like huge, like keep on going kind of workout. And then come down, lengthen out. Feel the difference between the two sides. Pro, and it's an intro proprioceptive sort of understanding of the inner workings of how the body settles itself. And then bring the feet flat on the floor and bring the knees in and see if this works for you to rock yourself up or roll over to your side. And then we're going to just come around and drop the knees side to side to loosen the pelvis again and come into mermaid position. Okay. So in mermaid position, another little, this is active isolated stretching. And again, you could do a little bit of this on a chair. You can sit on the chair. And we're just going to come around. But this time, what we're going to do is come around, look over the right shoulder, because we've already done the spinal twist once. But this, you can get a little bit further. On a chair, it's really cool because you can put your hands on the back of the chair and really push and pull yourself over to the side. And here, take your eyes and look around all the way over that right shoulder. And then keep your body in this position and take your eyes and go to the left. And then go to the right, go to the left. And do this a couple times, right and left. This partly comes from the study of EMDR, but it also is an understanding another way to balance or to ignite and energize the vagus nerve. And then come around. Then dive into that knee. Now this is a arm strengthener, so transferring the weight of the body onto the arms. Inhale, exhale. And I'm diving like with the top of my head and going down. And then at some point, changing positions, changing to lead with the chin. So changing how my spine is moving. Instead of diving, then I'm kind of reaching with the chin instead of reaching with the top of the head. So working that cervical spine a little bit more. And then lift up off. Excuse me, lift up. And then this is the dolphin. That's the dolphin itself. But then it's coming down to the elbow or your arm, and then lifting that back leg, strengthening there. Or you can lift from straight leg. And it's not that many. We're not doing a lot. We're just gonna do this process, and then it's so that you learn it. And then it's kick out and back and out and back if it works for you. And again, you modify everything. You can do this on a bed. And then before we leave here, we're going to stretch the quad. So holding on to that ankle. And again, you can come down all the way. You can come down on your arm. You can have a cushion. And you can stretch the quad in a lot of ways, standing up, or knee on the chair, or even sitting on a chair. I have people do it sitting with that leg on one side of a chair and they hold their ankle or their pants leg. And then when you come up, it's a natural come up and the leg is out forward. And you're in a position, some people have to grab a cushion and sit on it. And then you're going to come forward and just stretch. Now, if you have a strap, like I have one right here always, and you can use a strap and it gets a little bit deeper of a stretch. And you can do this on a chair, just lengthening out your leg on the chair. You don't have to have the foot and the right foot up to the inner thigh. You're just, whatever is working for you to stretch the back of the leg. Some people can catch their toe. I can, but it's not as comfortable. And then up. Take a deep breath in. For those of you, since most of you are on the floor, I'm going to show you this one today, where you take that leg that's extended and you go right to crossing it over. Now, this is not always available to people to be able to come over this far. So then you take the other leg and you put it out. If you can't cross over, if you can, then here's another spinal twist. You take that right elbow, come over. If you have the leg out, you still can do this. That's just a more gentle form of it. And again, if you're on a chair, just do another spinal twist, or you can do one standing or do something different. And you're looking over that shoulder. Now, this one, it really works the upper shoulder here, where you're partly stretching it and partly strengthening it as you've got that elbow holding. Now, if your elbow doesn't go there, some people use their hand. So you're just going to modify for your body. And then back. And untwist and shake out the legs and over to the other side. And over. And dive. So this is an unusual position because you're working the spine, you're a little bit in a twist, but you're also in more of the up down, what we would do um, cat cow. You're also strengthening the arms again, so make this an opportunity. You don't have to do weights. Yoga is a weight-bearing exercise. Change directions with the roll, with the chin, push off with the hands, breathing. And then reach up out of the crown of the head and swing around. Again, we're going to use the eyes here, swinging around, and then hold for a moment. This is a deeper twist than the one I had, lying down on the floor. And then take your eyes, your head is turned toward that left shoulder, but your eyes can go all the way around. Keep looking around as far as you can. And then switch them to the other side without moving the body and switch back and forth, 3 or 4 times. Resetting, all sorts of things. You can look this one up. And then back to center. Lift the back leg. Now you can come, I like the elbow, but you can come down as far as you want. It gets harder and harder the further up you bring your arms because your hip doesn't lift as easy. So you're just practicing. And there's a lot of different things you can do in these positions, which I'll keep adding so that you have a whole series. And I do have in the back of my mind just to make a video on that. And then catch the ankle and do a little bit of a stretch of that quad. Breathing. With us meeting only once a week, I think, okay, what can we do that you could learn to do like this full body strengthen and stretch all in one series? And the series that I've brought forward are like that. So this one then goes to a stretch here. Again, it's easier for some people to have a cushion nearby and just bring that pelvis up, and then it's a little bit, you're tilting the pelvis a little bit, and you're working with this. And again, you can use a strap and pull. So whatever is your way to do this. Now, some people have bad knees, again, and you can do this on a chair, just putting the leg out. You don't have to bring the other leg in. You can just stretch that leg. Or you can have, do a leg stretch along the wall, hold the wall or a table and stretch back into a hamstring stretch. And you just want to breathe into it for a little bit and just, hang out there and go, isn't that interesting about behind my leg and how it feels? And you're just feeling. You're just being there and recognizing what kind of tightness is there. And then here we come up, and we're going to, let's see, I think, we want to take that left leg that was out and bring it right over that right I mean, the right leg was out, bring it over the left knee, or lengthen out that side that was bent, and you come into this spinal twist. um, oh, and we missed one of them. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. Sometimes I get a little lost in these long series. But you'll see this one also, if you can do this with the knee over here, and the foot crossed, then you're going to feel that piriformis muscle again. And then come back around and undo and up onto our knees. And see how the cat-cow feels now. The cat-cow is kind of interesting because after all that twisting, it feels like, okay, my spine just wants to come to neutral. It just wants to come and just be a little bit up and down. Don't make me twist anymore. So here you go. And then hold in one direction and feel the curve. And breathe it. Breathe into it. And then the other direction. Drop the head here and just notice if you can let the cervical spine go. And then back to center. Tuck the toes behind you and heel walk as you come up. So you're doing a little bit more for your hamstrings, and then walk yourself forward when you're ready. Hang over. Then bend the knees and come up. Arms come up and back and to your heart. Then shake everything out. Even an hour just isn't enough time. My classes in person are always like an hour and a half or hour and 15. So we can decide whether to go to that too after we talk about our next step. So here we go, breath of joy, or some kind of ha breath. So, and this is ha, 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 ha. Now, you could do this one thing, ha, and it would get everything going in the right direction. Ha, 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 ha. Remember, we're filling ourselves with gratitude and joy, only good feeling thoughts, and everything is fine. All is well. Ha. Last time. Ha, ha. And hook up. Now, the central meridian hookup is both for that dizziness, but it's also the central meridian. So you're kind of balancing your meridians to all go in the proper direction. And then the tapping. This also, K27, right that underneath the collarbone. It's another one. Kidney 27 is to get all of the meridians reoriented to what they're supposed to do. And then to the lung point, just stimulating that lung point, which, just the name of it has you think of breathing. And then to the sternum, thymus, thyroid, right at the sternum. Then to spleen, pancreas. And I told you about my tooth, and each of the teeth goes to different organs, and mine, that number 9 there in the front of my mouth goes to the spleen, pancreas. And then to the kidneys, you want to go both to the kidneys, but also it's the adrenal glands back here, and it's a slapping and stimulating them in order to calm them. So first it's a stimulation, and then it's a calming and calming with 4 or 5 brushes, just brush down as though you could take those adrenals and say, calm down, everyone. Calm down, everyone. Calm down all of my cells. Calm down all of my thoughts. And then come to standing. Toe balance. So that up onto the toes and down, and up onto the toes and down. And then up onto the toes and seeing, can I stay on my toes? And also, can I bring my hands up or not? Working with just toe balance, which is never taking your feet off the floor, really. And then down. And then decide, what balancing posture do you want to do today? And again, having a chair or a table, always there if you feel like that's what you need, or doing a modified posture, like for tree, putting the toe on the floor and hands at the heart or hands above your head. And there you have it. You're actually training that place in your brain to be more balanced. And you're also working with, balance and looking at something not moving, so it's concentration. So you're working with how to stay focused and stay focused on the good. Then if you want, you can bring the foot up. And if you need the chair, if that's what you need, excellent. If you want to go further and you have it, go further. Bring the foot, the heel at the groin, and the toe gets down above the knee. You don't want to press onto that knee. So, and then you decide, oh, can I do this one? Oh, okay. And then change sides, see if you want to do the modified one, which is toe on the floor. You're still going to retrain that place in the brain to be balanced. And you're focused on something, not moving, concentration. So you're really finding that way to stay on track when you need to stay on track, balanced in body, mind, and spirit. Then decide, do you want to go up? Did you see how I held onto my chair and then I went up and I'm focused on something, and my bad knee on the left side is going to wobble a little bit more than it was on the right side. So I'm challenging it, and then down. Shake out the legs. Then these are just the simple ones we've been working on, but the lifting one foot down and the other foot up. And again, you could have it on a chair. You could have it on the base of a chair, and just, this is your work with balance. You could also have that toe on a block. You're still working with balance. You're focused, your attention, and you can just bring it up. find that balance place and bring it up. Focus on something not moving. Drop the shoulders up, back, and down, and fingertips together. And here, if you want to strengthen a little bit, you can always do, fitness yoga, which is like lift. And then hold. Breathe. And then let go. And then again, other side. Focus, attention, lift. Again, your foot can be held up. You're still going to be retraining the brain. And then let go. Shake it out. Shake it out. We haven't gone side to side yet. So side. This is like first to get it started. Again, active isolated stretching. Notice if you feel in the twisting and any of the spinal movements, noticing if you hear or feel any little clicks. And those little clicks usually are a recentering of or a readjustment of a vertebra. And so you might be readjusting yourself, and then hold one side. Again, your arm doesn't have to go up above your head. It can go to your waist. Both arms can. You can do whatever feels right. Pull in at the abdominals and see how you can stand a little taller. So you squeeze at the pelvic floor and just lift a little bit up from the lower body here. And then other side, and hold for a moment. Notice what happens when you hold versus movement. And again, you could have the hand on a waist, or however you want to have your hands at the heart. You can be seated on a chair. You can still do this. And you're breathing. And then back up. Inhale the arms up. And down. Half sun salutation before we come back down to the floor, and we'll use it to come down to the floor as well. So hands at the heart. Inhale down and up and back. Exhale down, swan dive down, bend the knees. Inhale, straight legs, flat back, look up. Exhale down, inhale up and back and to the heart. Now this time we're going to find our way through the progression of coming down, of inhale down and up and back. Swan dive down, bend the knees. Inhale, straight legs, flat back, look up. Exhale down, and I've got my grippets here, but you can just put your hands on the floor, step yourself back, downward dog. If you want to, because you just want more exercise, you can come right into a plank. You know, you can play with downward dog and plank, and then knees come down, come back into child, or whatever form you take there, and then up into upward dog if it works for you. Like remember, each one of these things is a choice. And then finding your way all the way down into Sphinx. All these transitions are just the kind, they just represent transitions. And so Sphinx is a little less strong than on your arms, but it's also very pressing into those elbows. You can feel what's going on here. And then come all the way down, but tuck the toes and do cerebral spinal fluid balancer. Just putting, not using my hands at all. I'm just pushing off from my toes. And you can remember you can do this on the back body or the front body. And then finding your way down all the way to your back. And we're going to our last posture. And you decide you can just be in Shavasana, or you can be in this one. I always love this one because it opens my shoulders. And it's rare to work with the shoulders and we didn't really work with the arms today. So if you want to continue your practice, you can work with the arms or find a closing posture just as partly it's a reflective time. It's an integration time. So imagination, inspiration, uh, intuition, and integration. And if you know those 4 words, we went through that whole process in doing this yoga practice. You have to be very intuitive about what's right for you. But you have to, work that imagination, which we did first, and then, am I inspired by my imagination? Or can I be inspired to have imagination? And then it's the intuition of what's right for me. And then it's integration, physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, relational integration. And it's kind of a process to go through during the day, all day long, is to see how you're being guided. So breathing and relaxing and letting the body feel gravity, feeling gravity, letting the body sink into the earth. You might take yourself back to where we started with you imagining yourself on a place actually lying down on the earth, the different kinds of ways you've laid down on the earth before. And then what would you choose right now? And imagine that you're there, just noticing if any of your power animals or spirit guides uh, are are there with you. Notice the breath. Notice gravity again. Feel the weight of the body.